everyone, welcome back. Chris here. Today we're taking a look at the new FMS F-16. This is the 64mm EDF. Really nice looking model. It kind of reminds me of a smaller version of, the 70mm. It's got the lights in here, which is really cool. It is fixed gear, man. I do wish we could get some retracts in it because it would really be a whole lot of fun. But, really nice flying model. For a 64mm, the size is really, actually, it's a decent size for a 64mm, but, again, really nice looking. The assembly was super easy. The wings just fasten into place, and then the stabilizers and the vertical, or the horizontal stabilizers and the vertical stabilizer, you just glue into place. Now, I do want to mention, you do want to make sure you get very solid glue contact. Initially, I hadn't glued the vertical tail very well, and so I was able to shimmy that free and I had to re-glue it. So just make sure that you get really solid glue contact there. Otherwise, you're gonna depart some surfaces, which is might be a bad day.
Oh, didn't make it to the runway. Oh no!
So you can just use medium CA and accelerator for that stuff. No problems at all. This is EPO foam. It loves CA. You can use CA all day long. But otherwise, the landing gear, they just screw into place. And, they do look scale, which is cool. But again, man, FMS, if you're watching, I'd love to see some retracts in these size models. It'd be so awesome and so much fun. But otherwise, flying the airplane, I played around with the CG a bit and just to see what it could do. And so there is definitely a CG limit that I did come up against, but we'll talk about CG control throws after we give you guys the flight. But otherwise, flying the model, it flies really, really nice. It flies like an F-16, and it actually flies very much like the 70mm. It, does all of the aerobatics that you want. It'll do the high alpha, rolls, verticals, all of that stuff. It looks good doing it. You can do just some kind of stupid stuff too if you really want to just bang the sticks around because it's just really forgiving. Just make sure that you give yourself enough space. If you bleed off a whole bunch of energy, you're going to need some altitude to recover. But otherwise, it flies really true. Point it where you want it to go, and that's where it goes. It's got good power from the 4S power system. Fun little model. Yeah, let's take it out to the runway. We got a little bit of a breeze going right now, so it'll be a good test of the model. We have a 4S 2200 pack in here, and we're gonna go fly, and yeah, let's show you what it can do. We should toss it. Ugh, that probably wouldn't end well. So the model does have reverse thrust, which is actually a really nice feature. You gotta have just a spare channel. I've got an AR620 in here, which is a 6-channel receiver. There is just a single wire off of the throttle that you plug into the signal wire on your receiver and an open channel, and then you just set it up on a switch. And so I've got it set up here, and so, oops, I got to turn the throttle cut off. Multitasking. So now I'll hit the switch.
On a hot day in Tennessee, you can use it as a fan.
Yeah, you can. How's that feel? So that's a really nice feature. I like to put it up here because that's actually where I put my brakes normally too. It's spring loaded, so if you mess up, you can just quickly release. And also, you're not going to accidentally switch this in flight. And so I've put it here before, and I've actually accidentally hit that in flight a couple times on other airplanes. So spring loaded is a really good way to do it. So, all right, let's do this. Yeah. All right, bring it around, give a high-speed pass.
Is it another one of those?
Sure. It's funny, it's definitely a little quicker with the 3200 in there. slow it down and see if we can get into the high alpha a bit. All right, pull back on the elevator, get the nose up. Looks a little funny with the gear down, doing that. All right, throttle up, power out. Full throttle pass. Come around, do an inverted. Pitch up, roll it on its back, give it a little down. There you go. So we'll just do a pass over the runway. All right. Gonna do a roll. Definitely flies better with the 2200. And the vertical. Out. There's our photo pass there. Guess I need to put a burner in it, don't I? I do have one that would fit. All right, come around, we'll do a touch and go, and then we'll do a landing. All right, we'll come around and land. Hit the brakes. All right, let's take it back to the table. We'll talk about our control throws. We'll talk about the CG so you guys can understand how I'm flying the airplane. Yeah, it's a fun little guy. All right, so there we've got the flight in fun little airplane. Now I want to talk about the batteries that I've used. And so I have flown it with a 4S 2200 and I've flown it with a 4S 3200. It's a little bit faster with the 32 and it handles it fine, but it does feel a little bit nose heavy to me. And so the 2200 tends to do a little bit better in terms of the CG. But otherwise, you know, being a little bit nose heavy is not going to hurt it. It lands fine with that in there. But I will say if you push the CG too far back, the airplane starts to get unstable in pitch. And so if you find that it's kind of double centering as you're trying to fly level, then your CG is too far back. But in terms of where I'm at, I've got the 2200 here, and it's basically in the middle of the tray here, that plywood that they've got in there. And so that CG feels really good to me. I wouldn't necessarily want to go any further back. Now, in terms of what that equates to on the model, there are these small little slots here. They're on either side. And so if you just pick up the airplane behind that slot with your fingertips, that's about where the CG is. So I'm at about, yeah, right at the back end, a finger width behind the back of that slot there. That CG feels pretty good. And so otherwise, I got an ant on here. Go away, ant! And so otherwise for the controls, I found that low rates all around felt really good. That equates to, for the aileron, that's 60% travel with, I've got 10% expo. And for the elevator, I'm also at 60% with 10% expo. And then for the rudder, I'm at 100% and I don't have any expo there. I probably could stand to use a little bit just for the steering part of it, but otherwise, no, I think that about covers it. Now, the landing gear are removable. If you've got grass, by all means, you can hand launch the airplane, no problems at all. We have some grass here, obviously on the ends, but we've got such a huge runway that I'm just gonna, you know, utilize the retract, or utilize the landing gear because it's just generally easier. Yeah, I think that covers it. So otherwise, guys, 64mm F-16 Thunderbird from FMS. Neat little model, good little flyer. My only request would be, and I'd love to see some retracts at this size. But otherwise, you know, really nice looking, nice flying model. And so I've got links down in the description to everything. You can check it out there. Otherwise, if you'd like to see the current project that's on the bench, you can see that here. The next video is coming very, very soon on that. And so yeah, otherwise, until next time, I'll see you at the field.